Hey everyone, Tim the Collect Jurassic here with another Jurassic World Hammond Collection unboxing from Mattel. Literally some of my favorite toys from Mattel. I just unboxed the T-Rex. Definitely check that out, but I've loved every single figure so far. Alan Grant and Gallimimus also just came out, and now we have Triceratops here in hand, and it looks like an awesome figure. I loved when they announced this thing. It looked awesome. So now to finally have it in hand and be able to get it out and maybe do some comparisons to the other Mattel Trike and, of course, the other Hammond Collection figures, that's going to be awesome. So I cannot wait to open this thing up. This is the Jurassic Park Triceratops, not to be confused with Jurassic World or something like that. So I'm all over that. Obviously, a huge Jurassic Park fan, first and foremost. So you got the little portrait of Trike on the side of the box. You got the Jurassic Park logo. I love these boxes. I go back and forth between thinking, oh, I need to collect all these in box and open. Because the boxes are so cool, especially with the logos. But then I'm like, oh, that's so much space. But these figures are so cool, so I just want to open them up anyway. So the battle continues on how I'm collecting these. But for now, we're just opening them up. Real quick before we open this one up, on the back we have the render, we have the bio, Triceratops having fallen ill from eating West Indian lilac. The Triceratops, Dr. Grant's favorite childhood dinosaur, makes an enormous mark on the Jurassic Park tour. For sure, Triceratops itself makes an enormous mark on the franchise. I mean, the sick Triceratops scene's super iconic. All that massive animatronic, all the cast interacting with it. I mean, that really sold the idea of real dinosaurs. So now we get a toy version to sort of memorialize that. So that'll be, I mean, that's what's so cool about this one. So hopefully we can pose it in some nice sick poses, right? But here it is coming out of the box. Wow, the detail on this thing is incredible. Oh my gosh. I'm not surprised. I mean, again, Hammond Collection has just been amazing across the board. Look at that thing. It's gorgeous. I haven't even got it out to, put the tail on it and all that. I'm already in love. So we'll go ahead and snap the couple plastic things out of here. My least favorite toy packaging are these little plastic ties. Not a fan. They're hard to get at. In fact, I don't know what people do that don't have wire cutters. I don't know if they put scissors next to their toys or something. I can't handle that stress, so I get these little wire cutters. But this is not going to be easy either. Ugh. See, they always... Amber was even worse. Amber Raptors had a million little plastic ties on them that just drove me crazy. We are going to break my own rule and snip in the front. I don't love doing that because I'm afraid I'm going to damage the toy, but in the sake of keeping this review moving, figures out. Let's go ahead and get the tail out. Clean up all this plastic junk that comes with all of these. Look, it's already sick. It's already missing its tail. It's a sick Triceratops. So we'll go ahead and pop this tail on. It has a little tab on it, so it should just pop right in. Pop right in. There it is. And then, ooh, this is cool. And then we can pose this Triceratops and start talking about it, talking about the joints. I think if you watch my Rex review, you know one of the things you got to do when you get these out of the box is you can get all the joints sort of loosened up so you can actually do some poses while we talk about this. T-Rex had some really tight joints around the arms that were hard to do on camera. So we'll go ahead and get Trike all loosened up. Awesome. And then also kind of familiarize myself with the articulation, right? So let me get this thing leveled out on the ground as best I can. Of course, now I can't get the legs to do what I want them to do. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. Trying to get these front legs to do something too. So there is the Triceratops. Got her tail dragging on the ground. I don't think she wants me to do that. So let me get her back legs posed up. Oh, wow. I mean, look. I mean, this thing's a work of art. It doesn't even look like a toy. The paint detail on this is incredible. I don't know if you can see sort of that, barely flecked mud that it has on it. It has, a couple little, gray streaks on its legs, too. But otherwise, it's kind of, flecked and brown. And the horns are all, cracked. Just like the movie. Look at the detail on the eye there, too. I mean, this thing, I'm sorry. This is a spitting image for the Jurassic Park Triceratops. Am I wrong? I mean, look at that thing. We've never got a Triceratops toy that looks anywhere half this good. I mean, that is just incredible. The detail on the top, it's got those big, giant, I don't even know what you call them. Almost like not scales. They're like not horns either, but kind of bigger, large, pebbly scales that go all through the back, just like the Kenner figure. They have some on the legs too. But yeah, articulation is obviously one of Hammond Collection's main features. And you saw me, all these legs have shoulder articulation, elbow articulation, and then I guess what you would call wrist or ankle articulation. So you can do some different poses there. I'm going to keep it kind of in a walking pose for now, but we'll definitely try to get it in that sick pose later. The tail, of course, has a round ball joint on the base, and then this also has a joint on it. So it's kind of got like two different places you can articulate, see. And it looks like this back tail does have a little bit of a plastic bend to it with the wire that we see in some of these figures too. I think I have this tail. Oh no, I had this tail posed upside down. I was wondering why I was dragging so much, but no. Okay, now we're all set. And I think I have the second piece posed right too, right? Yeah. So there, now it's not dragging on the ground like an old school Triceratops. And then you have articulation on the head too, which is literally just the neck. No mouth articulation. I mean, that would be my first thing I would knock against this figure, is the lack of mouth articulation. It's too bad because it looks like it can almost open up. Even just this little beak opening up would be kind of nice. I mean, it opens up in the movie with the tongue. So maybe they'll do like an alternate sculpt of this later with like the sick version with dilated eyes or something. Wouldn't that be cool? And then obviously a mouth open with the tongue. Even if it wasn't articulated, just making one that had like a posed open mouth would be cool. I'm kind of putting them in a walking pose now, because you can. I mean, that's what's cool about these, is you can do all kinds of stuff with the articulation. I'm going to move the tail a little bit. I'm going to have it be sort of grazing maybe, or maybe headed up in the air. So, wow, I mean, so cool. Just another fabulous Hammond Collection figure. I do want to do a comparison with the Mattel Trike so we can kind of get an idea of how big this is. But first I want to see if I can get this thing sick like in the movie. So we're going to put its head like this. We're going to like pose its, yeah. So its arms were kind of like flopped over, right? Kind of like that. This leg is pushed back over here a little bit like that. Tail's flopping on the ground. This leg would also sort of be draped over. So it's kind of close. I mean, it's not perfect. It's technically these arms should be kind of hitting the ground almost all the way, but it's kind of hard to do when you only have a few points of articulation. But you know, there it is, sick Triceratops. You can pretty much get almost a close pose to that of sick Triceratops. Of course, I have Hammond Collection Grant here, ready to do his famous, feeling the thing breathe, right? I mean, if you get an idea there, like, tell me that scale is not pretty dang close. I know a lot of people have issues with the size of Triceratops, but I mean, that feels right to me. It might not be 100% exactly the size it should be, but I mean, you pose these toys together and it looks correct, right? So that's the sick Triceratops pose to the best of my abilities here on the camera. Let's go ahead and pop this guy back up. He's had a miraculous recovery. I mean, the West Indian lilac bushes have been removed from his cage, and it's ready to run and charge and be a healthy Triceratops again. There's so many different joints on this. It takes a second to kind of reset it to get it back to standing up, but not too long. So there it is. Oh, I love this thing. I'm in love, everybody. This is just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful toy. But let's do some comparisons. I know everyone wants to see that. One of the ones I really wanted to do was to vehicles, because in the movie Harding's there with his Jeep. So I have the covered Jeep there. I mean, that is just an iconic pairing in and of itself. This Jeep with the Triceratops painted red so it doesn't get rammed. So the Jeep's pretty big, almost oversized, if you will, but the Triceratops looks nice by it. I know it'll look even nicer next to it, 2 or 3 more of these guys. So that is going to be just really impressive. But yeah, it scales pretty well, right? Next to the other Hammond Collection figures, we have the brand new Gallimimus. Also, pretty decent realistic scaling. I can't believe how many awesome Jurassic Park figures we've already gotten just in this first year of Hammond Collection that are just classics. The Gallimimus, the Velociraptor, the Triceratops now. Parasaurolophus was technically Lost World, but it looks great. Same figure, same price range, $20. You also have Baryonyx. So that's, I mean, you got a nice a spectrum of sizes of toys here. The $12 ones and the $20 ones, even within them, kind of almost have different sizes, right? And then what Hammond Collection setup would be complete without the big one, the T-Rex, which is so big I don't even think I can fit it in my lineup without cutting it off. sorry T-Rex. So large spectrum of sizes and scales there with the T-Rex. Love this T-Rex, by the way. Definitely check out my review if you haven't already. It's an awesome figure. Got that loose mid joint. Otherwise, it's an awesome toy. How does it stack up against the Triceratops directly? It's probably going to be pretty big because it's a $50 figure, so it's just that much bigger in general. So here we can see Triceratops versus T-Rex. That's them at sort of the same distance away from the camera, so to make it fair. So yeah, Triceratops is definitely a lot smaller, right? Not too small, but it's definitely small. I know some people want it to be a huge full-grown Trike, so it would be a much bigger, arguably more expensive figure if they scaled it up, right? So definitely next to the T-Rex. It's looking a little puny, right? Doesn't even look like it's going to be able to defend itself, honestly. But have no fear. It's still plenty big and plenty detailed. It's a great looking figure. Next to another Mattel Triceratops. Here's the latest. I think this is Roar Striker. That's literally all it does. It has no articulation on the head. The legs kind of pose back and forth, but that's, I mean, they pose out, but they don't, obviously doesn't have anywhere near close to the articulation that the Hammond Collection ones does. And I'd say they're pretty much almost the exact same size. I'd say the Triceratops, the Hammond Collection version is, I don't know, it's really hard to say. No, they're pretty much exactly the same size through and through. Here's a top-down view of them. The Jurassic Park version that's in the Hammond Collection is definitely a little bit chunkier and like kind of, I don't know, squatter. The regular Mattel one's a little more lean. It almost feels like it's bigger, but it's just because it's thinner and more spread out. But they're tip to tail, they're exact same size, exact same height even. The heads are very similar in size. So if you're want to get an idea of how big Hammond Collection Trike here is, I can tell you that it's as big as the Mattel Trike and no smaller, no larger. But that's not why we came here for the size. We came here for the detail and likeness to the film, and this thing knocks it out of the park completely. I cannot get over how cool this thing looks. I love the Raptor. I love the Gallimimus. The T-Rex is great, and this is every bit as great as those other Jurassic Park species. Makes me so excited for Dilophosaurus. That's kind of like I think that's the last one we're waiting on, right? If you don't count Brachiosaurus. That's the last kind of key Hammond Collection release. So a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful toy, full of detail. You can do that sick Triceratops pose too, which is, iconic. I definitely going to be grabbing a couple of these though, because I just love this thing. We've never had this perfect of a Jurassic Park Triceratops ever in the history of Jurassic toy collecting, which I've been doing for a while. Oh, look, he can even do like a kick in the air. He's probably not going to be balanced enough. Let's see. But that's why I'm just like, I got to get a couple of these, because we've literally never had anything close to being this good, and this is just such a cool figure. Here's my awkward pose of it, running and kind of galloping up in the air. So yeah, this thing is awesome. They'll be shipping from Target soon. This one was from Mattel Creations, but I'm sure they'll be in Target everywhere. And yeah, cannot recommend this guy enough. What a beautiful toy version of the Jurassic Park Triceratops. 10 out of 10. Incredible. So I think that is all I got for this review. Again, check out my other Hammond Collection reviews. I've reviewed every figure that we've looked at today. Just had to give Trike its own special review because it's just so cool. But I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.